This news update is brought to you by...
They ask us how we do it, how we outrun the world. They ask us, how does it feel to fly? How do we dive headfirst into the deep? And emerge victorious. They ask us if we're afraid, if we're nervous, or if we ever feel lonely, so far away from home. But the truth is, home is always right here with us. Get ready to witness the magic of the Olympic Games like never before.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Afternoon Update. It's Monday, August 15. With the details, I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The coroner's ruling in the May 2015 hanging death of Shemar Weekes has been put on hold. The decision will now be handed down next Monday. When the case resumed this morning in the Roebuck Street Court, Coroner Manella Renee revealed that she had not received an important piece of information from the police that is critical to her judgment. The coroner is awaiting details on the time the police received the call from the scene and the information they received about the boy's condition. She's requested the voice recording of the police operations control. Police are awaiting formal identification on the body found in the careenage early this morning. The body, which is that of a man believed to be in his 60s, was discovered about 6:45 a.m. It was removed from the water about 8:30 a.m. by officers of the Marine Unit and the police guard. We continue with a warning of new taxes coming in tomorrow's budget. It comes from opposition Barbados Labour Party candidate for Christchurch East Central, Ryan Stroll, who makes it clear that new taxes will do more harm than good. In a statement, Strawn says the government plans to implement taxes on both imported and locally produced goods.
We feel that to impose a new tax on the Barbadian public intended to raise more than $120 million from imports and locally produced goods would lead to greater hardship on the very households already struggling to make ends meet. There will be an immediate and inevitable increase in the cost of living when Bajan wages have been frozen for more than 6 years. In short, there is simply no more room for holes on the economic belts of Barbadians. To make matters worse, we also believe that the Minister of Finance will look to extend the tax on bank assets yet again. We all know that the banks will not absorb this additional cost, but pass it on to Barbadian customers.
Strawn, an economist, is appealing to the government to rethink its plans.
We appeal to the government to rethink foisting these new taxes or other creative revenue measures on Barbadians, since the evidence is clear that their approach of more and more taxes has failed each and every time since 2008. This exclusive tax approach has only served to take money from our pockets, stifle growth, and led to a deterioration in our foreign exchange position. The Barbados Labour Party, in its review of the various budgetary proposals laid in Parliament over the last 8 years, wishes to bring the following to the attention of the public, taking into consideration the statement by the Governor of the Central Bank that foreign exchange outflows will be tightened.
There is another reminder today for residents in Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean to be prepared this hurricane season. The warning comes from the head of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, Ronald Jackson, 2.5 months into the season.
And we've heard this, God is a Bajan, God is a Trini, God may be a Jamaican, he may be an Anguillan. He's all of us. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to be impacted by the vagaries of natural hazards. The decision as to whether or not we're caught up in an emergency response or dealing with a disaster is going to be very much built around how much at the household level, at the community level, and nationally we are vigilant. We build our capacity to respond and our ability to prepare for these events, as well as our efforts to mitigate and reduce the impact on our society.
He tells Barbados Today that the region cannot become lax because the season has been quiet thus far.
So we have to remain vigilant. We're in the hurricane season. It started early. It means that we're seeing a different kind of action happening within our region. Over the last 5 years or so, we've seen out-of-season storms. We've seen what would have been typical rain events become major rainfall events, resulting in flooding and displacement, leading to significant impact on the gross domestic product of member states. So we can't be too comforted by the fact that at this point things have been a bit quiet. It is not a sign that the rest of the season is going to be quiet. We have to recognize that as Caribbean people, these are things we will, and episodes we will experience over the time of life within the Caribbean. It was so in the past, it is so in the present, and it is going to be so in the future. So we do encourage our Caribbean peoples, individual households, communities, governments, to really be vigilant and to look to raise our level of preparedness and readiness for these events.
Sports now, and two-time Olympic 200-meter champion Jamaican Veronica Campbell-Brown has failed to secure a place in the semis. She placed third in the semi-final number 9 in a time of 22.97 seconds. However, Elaine Thompson remained on course for the Olympic sprint double after securing her passage to the semi-finals of the women's 200 meters today. Thompson, fresh off her 100-meter triumph, appeared keen on conserving energy as she placed second in heat 4 in 22.63 seconds to progress to tomorrow's semi-finals set for 8 p.m.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Read all about it, read all about it. Get your paper, only $2.25, let's get your paper.
You again with that stale news from yesterday. I got the Barbados Today app on my phone and I just get my news for free.
What do she?
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To our regional neighbors, the new president of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Social and Welfare Association says members are overworked and underpaid. And Michael Seal, who took the oath of office over the weekend, says government needs to take a closer look at the situation. More in this report from TV6 News.
Michael Seal sealing the deal by taking the oath, followed by his vice president Richard Corbett. Seal says, although the association understands the economic position that the country is in, it is imperative to review both the job specs of policemen and their salaries.
And we looked at from the year 2002, which was the last job evaluation, what is existing now in terms of the duties of policemen has far outstripped that job evaluation of 2002.
He assures that the association will go about it in a reasonable manner, adding that one of his main priorities will be homes for the members. Seal says the police service is understaffed and overworked.
So, if you are to carry news to the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, let him know that policemen are looking at a job evaluation.
On the international scene, a 5.4 magnitude earthquake killed at least 7 people in southern Peru. Local officials say some 40 more were injured when the quake struck on Sunday, destroying dozens of homes in the region. Emergency workers are on their way to the affected areas to search for survivors and provide mobile shelters. And finally, 2 people are in critical condition and hundreds more are ill after drinking tainted tap water in a small town in northern New Zealand. At least 18 people were hospitalized in Havelock North Town, officials say. They tested positive for a bacteria that is most common for causing food poisoning. The bacteria is usually spread by animal feces. Other residents have complained of other illnesses which forced local schools to close for 2 days. And on that note, we come to the end of our news and sports update, but there is more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, or you can tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for the very latest. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.